Hello student, welcome to today's class. In this lecture video, we are going to discuss about a sharp single index model. Let's see the lecture objectives. To discuss about sharp single index model, and finally at the end of the lecture, you will be able to apply the sharp single index model and will be able to analyze the portfolios and evaluate the portfolio by using the sharp single index model. Before discussing about this sharp single index model, let us recollect the Markowitz model, what it has stated. Markowitz model has helped the investors for evaluating various investment portfolios and try to select the optimum portfolio for the selection. So in this Markowitz portfolio model, there are several complications also exist. One of the most important complications that we come across when we use this Markowitz model is compiling the expected returns, standard deviation, variance and covariance of each security to other security in the portfolio. So all these are all very complex things to calculate, because if you look at the variables that are to be calculated while using the Markowitz model, now you need to consider the expected returns, standard deviation of portfolio, variance, covariance of each security to the other security, how the security return of one particular security in that particular portfolio is related with the other security in the same portfolio. So this covariance is also important and also to be considered for calculating the Markowitz model. So that is why it is very difficult for calculating the covariance between one security to the other securities of other securities in the same portfolio. And say for example, if there are n securities that would require n estimates of expected returns, means if there are n securities, you need to estimate expected returns for about n securities, and also we need n estimates of their variances. So all these securities variances are required, as well as expected returns are required, and then also a covariance matrix that consisted of n square minus n divided by 2. So these many number of covariances must be calculated for applying the Markowitz model, and this is what the basic complication that we are supposed to face while applying the Markowitz model for calculate or finding the optimal portfolio. And this will definitely increase the calculations that are to be done for finding out the optimal portfolio using the Markowitz model. And also sharp model has simplified this process. So this particular process, what we are supposed to calculate the n square minus n by 2 number of estimates of covariances, this burden has been simplified in this particular model, sharp model, by relating the return in a security to a single market index. So only thing that is considered in this sharp single index model is the return of a security with respect to the single market index. That is the only thing that is considered in this sharp single index model, and based on that only we are supposed to evaluate the portfolio. That's why these many number of covariance, because we are not supposed to calculate the covariances between one security to the other remaining securities in that particular portfolio in this sharp single index model. That is the reason why these many calculations are not required for this calculation of sharp single index model. And firstly, what we will do is in this particular sharp single index model is, so we will consider the we will consider the well traded securities in the market, means if you consider the Nifty, So Nifty consists of all well traded securities. In that way, we will consider the all traded well traded securities, and secondly, it will reduce the and simplify the work. Simply, it will consider only the market index such as the well traded securities including in index, and also secondly, it will reduce these it will reduce and simplify the work that needs to be done, because we are not supposed to calculate so many number of calculations as far as the what we call calculation of covariances or and all. These burdens were not been there in this particular model, so that is being simplified. So this is how the sharp single index model is going to be. And in this sharp single index model, what are the components are being considered? So now, macroeconomic events. So there are the country specific or the economic specific events that are there, that are like interest rates. So say for example, Reserve Bank of India is a master bank in India, so it will change the interest rates from time to time. Now in case if there is a change in the interest rate, or in case if there is a change in the cost of labor, or is there in case of any inflation rate change, so all these macroeconomic events, when it happens, then it will pose the risk to all the stocks in the portfolio, so which is nothing but a systematic risk. So we need to consider this systematic risk because these interest rate risk or cost of labor, like the kind of macroeconomic events are going to affect any portfolio. That is why in this sharp single index model, we are considering the systematic risk in the calculation of sharp index. Not only that, the firm specific events. So firm specific events means which are related to only specific to this particular firm. Say for example, there is a change in the board of director, so it is specific to that particular company. And when there is a specific projects are received by the company, or else some new what we call key person have changed in the company. So these are all very, very important and firm specific events. So sometimes these events may affect positively the event on the company, or may have a negative impact on the company also sometimes. So that is why. So these are like, not only this, the firm's credit rating also a part of this firm specific events. So when these specific events are there, then it is affected. It is affecting on the firm. So these are known as firm specific events related risk, which is nothing but a unsystematic risk. And people say that this unsystematic risk is a controllable risk. So why it is controllable risk? Because this, like board of director change, or the key what we call credit rating, firm's credit rating, all these are all can be controlled by the firm. Because if you do such kind of practices in the organization, so definitely these whatever changes that are happening, which can be done in line with the company's expectations. That is the reason why these all changes which are related to the particular firm can be controlled by the organization. That is why it is known as controllable risk. And this controllable risk also is interpreted by the sharp single index model. So means any firm specific events are there, so the risk related to these firm specific events also been included in this particular sharp single index model. So firstly, we have considered the macroeconomic events related risk, that is systematic risk. Secondly, we have considered the firm specific events related risk, that is unsystematic risk. Now what else are been there? But it would have a negative impact on the economy, of course. And this one. So these firm specific risks are there. So these also will have a negligible impact on the economy, because this is related to a particular firm. So that is the reason why, in case if there is any such kind of firm specific events are there, they may not impact the overall economy to a greater extent, because it is firm specific and it is affected to the particular organization to the most extent. And also the unsystematic risk due to firm specific factors of portfolio can be reduced to zero by diversification. That is a wonderful concept in personal finance, that is the diversification. Diversification is something that is related to the investment wherein we don't invest our money into a single stock. We invest our money across various assets and various investment alternatives, which is known as diversification. If we do so, then if we invest more than 15 specifics, 15 different industries and different stocks, so then this particular unsystematic risk also can be reduced to even zero also. That is why this firm specific risk to a portfolio can be made it to zero by the concept of diversification. Let me explain you this concept with a small example. Let's say, for example, you are going to invest your money into a particular portfolio consisting of 10 stocks. And if you invest your entire money in this only one stock, 100% into this particular stock, then in case if this particular stock increases or decreases, and also the any related news regarding this particular stock is going to be affected, and finally your change in return can be to a greater extent. If it is good, your return will be increased to a very higher levels, and then decreased to a very higher levels. So that is why there is a greater risk is associated when you are investing your 100% of your capital into a one particular stock. But in case, on the other hand, if you think that 10% and like that, if you keep on investing only 10% across all these 10 stocks, then you are distributing the entire capital to the entire stocks. When you are distributing your capital to the entire stocks, and you say, for example, not only that, if you consider this stock one that is from petrochemicals, if you take the second stock that is from cements, and then third stock from IT sector, and fourth stock from any other FMCG. So like that, if you diversify your investment into across different companies and different industries, then the firm specific risk won't be there. And that is the reason why your firm specific risk, that is can be made it to zero by the way of diversification. This concept is known as diversification. By doing so, you can reduce your firm specific risk to even zero also. Now let us consider let us think about the Sharpe single index model. There are set of limitations that are there for this particular Sharpe single index model. The first limitation for this Sharpe single index model is investors have homogeneous expectations. Homogeneous expectations, same or similar kind of expectations are there by all the investors. Say, for example, you are going to invest your money into stock market and rest and wait for next 5 years. Similar kind of investors also may be there, and there may be some A or B or C investors who may also invest their money into this particular stock and try to invest and wait for another 5 years. So their expectation is a growth. Your expectation is also a growth. So similar kind of expectations, homogeneous expectations may have by the investors is the first assumption. And the second one is a uniform holding period is used in estimating the risk and return of each security. So in this process of single index model, we are going to estimate the risk, and we are also estimating the return of a security as well. Now during this process, we are supposed to consider the fixed holding period or uniform holding period. So unless and until we fix this holding period, the risk associated with the investment or return associated with the investment will be changed. So that is why, to observe the effect between the risk and return of a security in a particular portfolio, we are supposed to keep this holding period as constant, as the second assumption. And the third assumption is the price movements of a security in relation to the other not depend primarily upon the nature of these two securities alone. So, the price movement of security, one particular security movement is not dependent upon the nature of those two securities alone, but also as a result of general business and economic conditions. So, for example, if you see the corona pandemic situation wherein all the stocks were being impacted, whether the industry is good, whether the stocks are good, but even then the stocks price have decreased. The reason is the economic conditions and business condition, general business conditions, so are worst. That is the reason why the price movements of a one particular security is not related with the only the return of those two securities or one particular security, but also it is related with the general business and economic conditions. And the fourth assumption is the relation between securities occurs only through their individual influences along with some indices of business and economic activities. So, there are some indices, as we have already discussed about this, what is indices. Say for example, Nifty 50, it is an indices, and then Bank Nifty, Sensex. So, these are all called indices, and these indices also change in every day, whether it can increase or it can decrease, but these indices also will have some movement. So, now the relation between the securities occurs only through their individual influences along with the some indices of business and economic activities. So, now the indices like Nifty 50 or Sensex or also, so these kind of indices when they increase or decrease, their influence also will have the on the return of the securities. And the fifth one is, there is a term that is considered in this sharp single index model, which is nothing but a error term return, that is EI. So, random disturbance terms, that is EI, which is nothing but a error term return, has an expected value which is nothing but a 0. So, EI value is considered as 0 and a finite variance, and also the variance is also expected to be finite, and it is not correlated with the return on market portfolio, and also there is no correlation with the return of this particular error term as well as the market portfolio, as well as the error term, that is EI, for a given, for any others. Even the return, even this particular EI return is not even related with any other securities return also. So, basically this error term return can happen with any other factor. So, that is also been considered in this sharp single index model. Now, let us consider how to calculate the sharp single index model and how to consider the best portfolio out of this sharp single index model. Now, here while finding out the best portfolio out of this sharp single index model, what we will do is, individual securities portfolio and the relation of any other security with the market index can be presented in a regression line. So, now in the sharp single index model, we will represent the portfolio risk and return of a security and market risk, all these in a linear format, that is regression line. So, we will represent the relationship between these variables in a linear format, that is a regression line format. Now, we will see what is that regression line. This is what the regression line. The equation of the characteristic line, the regression line, is Ri minus Rf is equal to alpha plus Bi m Rm Rf, Rm minus Rf. So, now let us see what are these plus EI, error term return, that is EI. So, now what is this Ri? Ri is the holding period return on security. In case there may be any kind of security, say for example there is a security I. So let's say TCS is a security or Reliance is a security. Now you can consider this particular security as I. And also RI is nothing but a holding period return of this particular security. Say for example, it is a security Reliance. So holding period is, say for example, 1 year. So how much return that Reliance has given in this one particular year is nothing but a RI. Next one is RF. RF is nothing but a riskless rate of interest. So riskless rate of interest. Say for example, you have 1 lakh rupees with you and banker offer you 6% rate of interest per annum. Now without having any risk, after 1 year you can generate 6,000 profit, 6,000 return on this particular amount. So you have gained 6,000 rupees in a year, which is nothing but a return of riskless, because without having any risk you are getting this 6,000 return. So this is considered as a riskless rate of interest. And the next one is a alpha. Alpha represents the abnormal returns for a stock. So abnormal returns of a stock occurs when the portfolio or the stocks performs and due to various other reasons like its own performance or its the maybe other impact on the stock. So due to this the stocks may perform. So this return is nothing but a alpha. And alpha is the vertical intercept on y-axis. There is a there is a graph. We'll look on to that. And y-axis representing the return on the security when only systematic risk is considered. So when there is only systematic risk, this alpha will be considered, and that is on the y-axis intercept. And systematic risk is measured by beta, and of course beta is nothing but the term representing the systematic risk, risk due to the market. So BIM is nothing but a beta of market. BIM is nothing but a beta of market. And EI is nothing but a residual component, and not captured by any other variables. Means this particular return is not been achieved by any of these means, but this particular return is nothing but a EI, error term return. As this is what the relation based on this what we call equation. So I'll write up the equation here once again. Ri minus Rf is equal to alpha p plus Ep, okay, plus beta p m into Rm minus Rf. So this is what the relationship between the different variables in this sharp single index model. So now excess return on portfolio is Ri minus Rf, means Ri is nothing but a return of a security, and in case if it is a single index portfolio, then it is called a return of a portfolio. Now return of a portfolio minus return of the risk free asset, now which is nothing but a absolute return in the particular portfolio. So this is what is known as excess return on portfolio, and this excess return on portfolio is achieved through the combination of systematic and unsystematic risk, because the return is achieved, the excess return on portfolio is achieved due to the unsystematic risk as well as the systematic risk component of the particular portfolio. So this is nothing but unsystematic a component of risk related return, and this is what the systematic component of risk related return. So the combination of systematic risk related return and unsystematic risk related return is nothing but the excess return generated by the portfolio other than the risk free rate of interest. So this is what, this is what an alpha you can see here, and beta m is nothing but a market beta of portfolio, okay, and the the line can be indicated in this way: alpha plus, which is nothing but an alpha. So alpha p is nothing but a error term, error of a portfolio, plus alpha p, which is nothing but a return of a portfolio, and so which is nothing but an alpha, and then beta m multiplied by, this is what a beta of portfolio, so beta of the market, and Ri minus If plus error term written E. So finally this line representing the sharp single index model. Now how do we find the optimal portfolio using the sharp single index model? So for the optimal portfolio, sharp is called a sharp single index model, wherein the optimal portfolio is directly related to the beta. So this is what is very, very important. When optimal portfolio is considered by the sharp single index model, the optimal portfolio is dependent on the beta value alone. Why only the beta value? Because let's say for example, return of a portfolio is a combination of unsystematic plus systematic risk, and the unsystematic risk related return cannot be considered, because the unsystematic risk is getting zero. Because of the diversification technique, we will be able to nullify this unsystematic risk. When we are nullifying the unsystematic risk, there is no unsystematic risk exists in the portfolio. So what is the remaining other risk associated with the portfolio? Which is systematic risk. That is the reason why systematic risk only is considered, which is nothing but a beta. So systematic risk is measured by beta. So now the optimal portfolio is only directly related to beta and no other risk in the portfolio. And if Ri is expected return on the stock I, then RF is the risk free rate of interest, then the excess return is nothing but Ri minus Rf. This has to be adjusted to the beta, and by the way of Ri minus Rf by beta I. So means how much this excess return is being generated for the term beta of security. So now how what is the risk of a security with respect to the beta, and that is only is depending on this particular excess return. So the excess return on the security is due to only the beta of the security, to what extent that particular security is facing the risk from the market index. That is the only criteria for the excess return generated by the particular portfolio as per the sharp single index model. So which is what the equation considered for the shortlisting the different portfolios, and based on that we are trying to find out the best or optimal portfolio. So in this method what we do is, selection of optimal portfolio has become very easier, because it is simply ranking of security in the order of their excess return. So this excess return of all the portfolios, say for example portfolio A, B, C, D, different portfolios are there. Now we will find out the excess return. So excess return. So excess return, that is due to the market risk. So this excess return is generated, and that is calculated, and this excess return, say for example 20%, 30%, and 25% and 10% as such. And then this excess return is the only criteria for selecting the or what we call ranking the different portfolios. And also it is thus seen that the sharp portfolio takes into account both the systematic risk, that is systematic market related risk, and unsystematic risk and residual risk. So but finally it is also considering the systematic risk as well as the unsystematic risk and residual risk. Means so in case of the return is considered for the portfolio to rank the different portfolios. So where we are supposed to consider the all the types of risks related to market, that is systematic risk, related to firm specific risk, that is unsystematic risk, and is there any other risk that is inherently there in that particular stock, that is also considered in the form of residual risk. By considering all these different types of risks, we are calculating the return of a particular security, and we are trying to ranking all the different portfolios. By this process, we are going to shortlist the different portfolios and finding out the optimal portfolio by using the Sharpe single index model. And now let us conclude by saying this: the model is greatly reducing the computer calculations, computations, and because it is eliminating the calculation of covariance exists between one security to the other remaining securities of that particular portfolio, and also efficiently considering the systematic risk, unsystematic risk, and also the other residual risks for calculating the return of a particular portfolio. Now let us have a small quiz on this particular topic. Sharpe single index model is reduced the burden in selecting the optimal portfolio. Do you accept for this? Yes, it is true. Sharpe single index model will simplify the work involved in computing the elaborate matrices of variances as between the individual securities as well. Yes, of course, this is also true. Sharpe model considers only the systematic risk and not the unsystematic risk. No, it is false, because it is also considering the unsystematic risk. And the best ranked portfolio is called as the DAS portfolio. It is called as efficient portfolio. So that's a disclaimer. Thank you very much. Thank you.